Hey, greetings there, everyone. GleeCon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On the last episode, we did the second Night Elf campaign, where we basically just learned how to use Shadow Meld and snuck our way through some demons. I guess story-wise, the Night Elves now realize that the demons are coming. And maybe the Alliance and Horde are not the biggest enemy, although they have yet to try to team up with them. So stay a while and listen to this one. It's called The Awakening. The sight of Archimonde and his vanguard defiling Ashenvale filled Tyrande Whisperwind with shock and fury. But she knew it was only the beginning. The Legion was not in Kalimdor to conquer the forests. The demons wanted to consume the entire world. With the second well of eternity, they would have the power to do so. They could open gateways for the rest of the Legion, perhaps even for Sargeras himself. Sargeras? I don't know. Tyrande needed every weapon at her disposal to defend Hyjal. That meant rousing the Druids from their sojourn within the Emerald Dream. It troubled her that Malfurion, Stormrage, and his followers had not yet emerged from the dream. They must have sensed the corruption spreading across Ashenvale. What reason could they possibly have for remaining in the ethereal realm? The reason was Cenarius. When he had fallen, his death had sent a shockwave through the dream, weakening the Druids and throwing them into a state of confusion. Malfurion and his followers sensed fragments of what was happening in the physical world, but they were effectively trapped within the Emerald Dream. When Tyrande finally managed to wake Malfurion, he was stunned to see what had become of Ashenvale. Fell fire consumed his beloved forests, while a toxic undead blight choked all life from the land. Malfurion hurried to awaken the other Druids, eager to save the wilds. He and Tyrande trekked across Hyjal and into the snowy hills of Winterspring in order to visit the underground barrow dens where the other Druids slept. Malfurion dispatched some of the newly awakened Druids to join the Sentinels in battle against the Legion. Cool. He sent others to rally the forest creatures and rouse the remaining wild gods. These beings were elusive even at the best of times. Without Cenarius to command them, it would be near impossible for the Druids to find and convince them to join the fight. Even so, the Night Elves tried. So I guess in the next missions, we will get Malfurion as a hero, we'll get Druids as playable characters, and then maybe we're going to get some of these other Fey creatures. The quest to wake the Druids was long and arduous, but it gave Malfurion, Stormrage, and Tyrande Whisperwind time to reconnect. Centuries had passed since they had last met. Malfurion found that the long years of defending the Night Elves had changed Tyrande. She was fiercer than before, and more willing than ever to make any sacrifice if it meant protecting her people from danger, so more like the Tyrande we now know. Malfurion didn't realize just how far Tyrande would go to safeguard the land until they stumbled across an ancient gateway within one of Hyjal's barrow dens. It was the prison of Malfurion's twin brother, Illidan the Betrayer. Tyrande saw Illidan's Stormrage as a potential weapon. He was a great sorcerer, and his knowledge of demons was without equal among the Night Elves. If she were to set him free, he could unleash his might against the Legion. Malfurion vehemently opposed liberating his brother. Time had not changed his opinion of the Betrayer, and he believed Illidan was still a danger to the world. After weighing the risks, Tyrande made her choice to free Illidan, and she set out on her own. All that stood in her way were the Watchers, an order of Night Elves who had guarded the Betrayer for millennia. When Tyrande called on them to release Illidan, they openly defied her. That's probably Maev. And for that they paid the ultimate price. Maybe not. With the fate of Azeroth itself hanging in the balance, Tyrande Whisperwind would not suffer dissent. Not from anyone. She struck down the Watchers who stood in her path and cleared the way to Illidan's prison. From the darkness of the barrow emerged the Betrayer. So now the Night Elves are fighting against everyone. So if it wasn't already tough enough with this race that has got like no melee tanks, on top of it all, they literally are fighting everyone, including themselves. So this does not bode well for the difficulty of this chapter. All right, cool. So we have another episode in the pipe, 5x5. It sets us up to do a couple other episodes. All right. Look forward to seeing everybody next time. And I thank you so much for watching this episode of Lore of Warcraft.